All right, well, here we are. Another week around the trash fire. Your host, Mathias, along with the boy.
John.
Oh, man. How was your day off?
Uh, how was my day off?
Day off
Reading
was
a bunch of
yesterday.
Black Library books in the cafe. Um, Painting some orcs, and that's kind of it. Other than like real life errands and all that. How about you?
I just relaxed because, I usually work 6 days a week, so it's
Oh,
good to have a
nice.
holiday off.
That's good.
But other than that, I didn't do anything productive with my time, so I could have, like, painted models or whatnot. I just said, nah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, relaxing is productive, I will say.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens during this week. But since we missed a day, we have a little extra news here. But let's get in with what we got, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, first up on the list, we got the Orc coin
Yes, the orc.
for for what do we call it? Orc timber.
Septorber. I don't know.
Yeah, so here we go. We got our another 40k theme coin, which is a little funny because oh wait no, there's no 40k release date for anything in October, right?
No. I mean we have the orcs coming out, but that's kind of it. I'm not sure if we'll see orc stuff. But yeah,
Oh, because I mean, we're gonna get to it in the Sunday preview, but I was gonna think like all the Cruel Boy stuff, but then that's all coming out
that's
this week.
yeah, that's well. There's several waves, of we see how we have a bunch of orcs and cruel boys, that are going to be coming out. So it could lead into October. We could have an orc or October. So
Oh, October,
October.
2 months in a row. I doubt it though, but I like the coin. Simple enough. It's orky.
I might pick it up because I'm gonna pick up start collecting and some stuff at the local stores. So
I don't think I could justify purchasing anything that's $100 to get this coin.
fair.
Not that I know of, but we'll wait and see.
No new avatar yet.
No new Eldar remodeled release. How am I supposed to spend thousands of dollars to revamp a craft world?
Right.
And then, of course, we got the model that you'll get for free as well. It's uh, this is the old knob, right?
Yes, the older kit. I mean, technically there is no new knob kit. There's a new knob in the boys box, but there's no new knob kit. And this is I wouldn't mind picking this up as well. You could never have too many knobs with special weapons.
Is the power claw any good though?
I like it.
I know it does like D3 damage instead of like D6. No, that's old rules. I'm sure. Isn't the power fist just D3 as well?
I think it's two now. I think it changed it.
Hmm.
I think I could be wrong. Could be D3. But honestly, like I most of my list, my boys, the knob doesn't have any upgrades. I mean, like I wouldn't mind. I was probably gonna model him with a power fist, but it'll just count as a chopper because we just want squads of boys with um with naked knobs there.
Yeah, I just see the Auric models and I tremble with fear with my old painting days when they burned me out. Though I'm sure it'd be a lot easier now with the. Speaking of which, you use the contrast paint. How is it?
I actually did not use the contrast pin works. I mean, I tried to do last cast will suggested using the orc flesh over the new orc paint, and I didn't like it because it was too green. I like the more lime green of the new style where it's more lime green. So I just used his first suggestion, which was a Thonian camo shade, and that turned out really well. But a lot of people just really like orc flesh over Grace here. So if that's your gig, that's your gig. I much prefer the new Auric flesh with Thonian camo shade and dry brush with Ogren camo for my orcs.
Hmm.
And it's been working for me, but that's my preferred look. Again, is the new like lime green almost look for the orcs.
Well then, maybe I'll get back to painting my orcs one day.
One day.
We got other projects ahead of them, such as the
Yes.
Thousand Sons, the Dusty Boys, but
Yes.
ooh, I still shudder. I don't want to do it. Anyways,
Uh,
orc coin. I like it. It's nice, and you can use it pretty much for anything orc related. So moving on to our Sunday preview, what is for pre-order this week? Uh, AOS finally getting their the third edition books.
yes, for
Third,
Stormcast and Orcs.
yes, the Stormcast and the Cruel Boys or Orcs, I guess, right?
Well, yeah, the general orc release.
I want to
This
say
is the
that
battle tome. We'll have Savage Orcs and Iron Jaws all in one.
I say this Stormcast book looks like the Space Marine book in terms of thickness.
Yeah, I mean Stormcast have a ton of stuff. Lots of war scrolls. Lots of all that.
I know. Well, I mean, they get a new stuff every new edition, so there's just more and more stuff added to that book. But it looks nice. Of course, the art is always nice. I assume that's Warrior of Chaos. He's bashing the head
Yes,
in.
it's not a model that we have because he has a double-handed sword. So that is kind of cool.
Warriors of Chaos army incoming soon.
I hope so. I mean, they need the multi-kit eventually.
Hmm. Let's see. Well, what else do we got here? All these models that they showed off back when they announced the Dominus box set
Yeah, we
finally
got
coming.
the what is this? The Knight Judicator. Probably going to be an easy build, like those starter set models, which is cool. I mean, you know, uh, I think it's cool they're doing that. The cheaper models that are easy to build.
The
Interestingly, the second set here, the Lord Arcanum on the Griff Charger and the Evocator, that's from Soul Wars. That's why it's kind of odd that there's like a random sergeant there, because
mhm.
that's how the screw was in Soul Wars. You had this guy in the unit leader. Um, but I mean, I'm glad they're bringing him back. It gives hope that the Lord of Contagion and the Primaris Gravis Captain from Dark Imperium are coming back as their own kits. So I think that's cool. That's a good sign.
Yeah. Oh, it's. I'm not familiar with the second model here on the Griffin. Did they show that one? Is that one new?
No, it's from Soul Wars. It's the
Oh,
sergeant.
it's the Soul Wars. Okay, that's what you're
Yeah.
talking about. I was
But
looking at the first picture. I was like, oh, okay.
oh no. Yeah. Yeah, he's the sergeant of that squad, and his sprue he shares a sprue with the Lord of Canaan, the Griff Charger. That's why he's kind of here on his own, awkwardly.
I see. Okay, that's good. Well, we also got the Griffhound chariot as well.
Yeah, not a fan, but I'm sure lots of people like it. It's
You don't
okay.
like
Like
chariots, do you?
I hate chariots. Like I'm thinking of ways to convert the kill rig for orcs when it comes out because I just hate chariots.
You'd make my Tomb Kings very sad because that's all they are is chariots.
Tomb King chariots are cool because they're Tomb Kings, but because it makes sense. But I don't know, other faction chariots just kind of don't make sense to me, to be honest.
I see. Well, let's see what else we got here. We got the Orc clans, their
Look,
book.
it's pretty thick as well, because again, it's technically three factions in one.
So let's see. I'm just gonna go off what I know. So I see Cruel Boys, Iron Jaws, and who's the third faction? Savage Orcs.
Savage. Yep.
Okay. I got that all from the cover. All right.
Yep, there you go. Good. That's how you know it's a good cover. Tells you what's in the box.
Savage Orcs is a bit in the background there, but
I mean, yeah, they barely have any kits. I think one of their kits got squatted actually. The cavalry,
uh-huh.
interestingly enough. So, but I mean, they're in the book. Yeah, your stabbers and your orc archers.
Well, got Cruel Boys now. Nice addition. You got um the ones with the crossbows. I don't remember what they're called.
Yeah,
Killer Boys.
the I forgot the name, but yeah, the ranged crossbow boys. More ranged units for orcs, which I think faction variety is a good thing. I don't think factions should just be like trapped to one archetype. Like I wouldn't mind close combat Tau suits. That would be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
But we got that going, and we also got data cards, which we already know of. This guy who was also revealed
yeah,
when the Dominus box was set.
yeah, another easy build. It's a HQ, so that's kind of cool.
The Ballista.
The ballista.
And then
Um, I'm not a fan of this model. I just don't like. I don't know. It's a lot for me,
you just can't
but
appreciate
I
orc
hope it's good.
ingenuity, that's all.
I hope it's good for players. I'm just not a fan.
I don't know. Well, I mean, from what little I've played, going off the you'll have to help me here because it's actually been a while since I played. The scenarios, right? The ones that change every turn.
What do you mean?
Those missions that you score each turn, right?
Yes,
Those
yes,
those things have a lot of bonuses for monsters. So this looks like a
yes,
monster killer.
yes. Very true.
So if monsters are meta, I'm sure these things will be decent.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's a range unit. Usually, range units aren't a terrible inclusion in your Age of Sigmar armies. So, and again, it's easy builds. It's probably not it's going to be relatively inexpensive dollar wise, which is a good thing.
Yeah. What else we got here? We got faction dice. Looks like.
These are garbage. Like if they were $20, they're worth it. But $35, like I've definitely noticed a drop in quality in the dice. Like these are just plain with the symbol on it, you know.
Yeah.
Also, the death dice are so bad. Like because we still have dice where the skull is a one, and then they're releasing dice where the skull is a one. I mean, yeah, that's the faction
Well, the
logo,
skull
but
is a 6.
oh, sorry, yeah, skull is there. See, I'm confused already. um, like stylize the skull, give it like runes or like give it the Nagash hat or something. It's literally just a skull, and again, skulls have been used for one, so it's like why?
Well, I
Uh,
agree with you in that the dice are trash in terms of style, but I will always prefer this than having a ones and sixes being different symbols like they did in the past. Cause
right.
oh my god, and these guys are easy to read, which is perfect because one dice set that comes to mind, AOS wise, Deepkin. Oh my god, how do you read those dice?
Actually, those dice, this is my glass half or glass half full um mindset. Those dice are amazing because they're really good for like wound counters or something because you will never ever confuse because they're so bad. You'll never confuse them for like dice to pick up and roll. So I love them as wound counters. Warcry, they're really good for the round dice. I love them for as wound counters because they're just again just so different because they're so bad as regular dice. So you never confuse them.
I mean, I guess, but
I absolutely agree. They're terrible for regular rolling.
I agree with you in the fact that yeah, $35 for these plain dice for one side being a symbol is outrageous. they're big dice, so I get why they're more expensive. But honestly, just go to Etsy or any dice customization spot, and I'm guaranteed you can get more dice for the same price.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Games Workshop dice that I would pay full price for. These are not even close to being one of them. The 30K ones, the old 30K ones where you got 20 of them, those were really good. The old Thousand Suns dice were really awesome.
Yeah, I missed out on that. I'm sad.
Yeah, there's a lot of dice they made. Actually, the Aeronautica dice, super cool because they have that like sky blue like marble effect. That was super dope. Um, but yeah, like I just not a fan of this at all.
Yeah, well, I just read that these are the bottom dice are just faction specific dice. They're not, a certain army. But yeah, they could have marbleized it a little bit more. Done anything. It's not like people ask for like very fancy dice. They just want dice they can read, and then something that looks nice.
Mhm.
A plain color is not really good. I mean, I look at the death dice and I'm just like, yikes.
Yeah, no, ew.
I
So
mean,
bad.
purple is fine, but that beige, yellowish color, it's awful. But we could talk about dice for hours because
Mhm.
lots of opinions. But let's move on, shall we?
Yes.
We got the newest White Dwarf.
Interestingly, it's gonna have a new Mechanicus army list for Kill Team, which is interesting. Wonder how that's
Yeah.
gonna work. So it's just like
So it's day one DLC.
it's more like alt DLC. Because it just rearranges. Actually, I haven't read it. I'm waiting for a review to see what it reveals, but it's just like a list on army where you like imagine like one of those old school back in the day in like fourth fifth edition where they would have like a white dwarf army list where like let's say you're playing Dark Eldar and like aiming to buy your troops or something, but you can't take witches at all, stuff like that. Um, so it's something like that. So in a sense, it's kind of like day one DLC, but
So it's like formations, right? You have to take X
kinda
amount of stuff to get
no,
benefits.
no, it just rearranges what you could take. It's literally like because back in the day where it was really restricted, like you needed to take troops, right? So it's the equivalent of like having incubi or terminators as troops. So you can run an army of just that. So that's what I've heard from what it is and from the previews they've had. It doesn't change
Okay.
any stats. It doesn't give you any rules bonuses or anything. It just kind of rearranges how the army works. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how that's going to pan out.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
And if you're running a tournament, you could just easily say like, yeah, no white dwarf lists, right? So um,
Well,
add your
I'm
abs
sure it'll
here,
be official, so the White Dwarf will probably be canon.
right?
I just hate I hate when stuff is limited to White Dwarfs and they don't just make it like a free PDF on their website
Right. I see.
because, resourceful people, yes, will be able to find PDF versions of this stuff online because there's always someone posting this stuff online. But
Mhm.
for those who don't know where to look in the right places, that White Dwarf is gone once it's sold out or out of print kind of deal,
Right.
and no one has access to it. So it would just make sense to put it. I know why they do the one in the White Dwarf because they want to sell their magazine, but stuff like this, especially for a game that they're trying to grow, should just be free online or in the next campaign book that they want to release.
Yeah, I get that.
It's I don't like it. Either way, we can move on from that. Blood Bowl. Okay, skipping this. Forge World. Finally the Praetorians, right? Is that what these things are called? Or Ultramar? Or yeah, the Praetor models. Sorry, I don't know why I keep calling the Praetorians. Praetor models finally coming out, as long
Yes.
as well with Argotol, which, if I recall, we were not big fans of.
I mean, I like him, but I think from I remember my hot take was I like him, but he definitely could have been way better with some minor design changes. But it's cool that he's coming out. More 30K again for me, always a good thing. Kind of thematic that they're releasing word bearers and ultramarines at once.
Bro. And then what else we got from Forge World? We got a Win a Titan, which I had an article for this, but we can just talk about it here. So have you read that article or looked at that
Yeah,
article?
you what is it? You just sign up, right? They've
Yeah,
done this before.
yeah. They Forge World does this a lot when they're trying to like entice people to go to their website. Basically, you sign up to their newsletter, and then you have to spend 100 euros to be able to enter into this contest. And for this, I'll just bring it up. You get a warlord titan with whatever you want to equip with it, uh, which is cool. But then I read something. I read that U.S., Canada, Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland won't apply for this giveaway.
That's funny.
I was like, what?
I
Why
mean,
not?
I'm sure it has something to do with like laws and um I'm sure, yeah, it has something to do with like raffle laws or something. But I don't know,
I mean, they've done this
like
in the past before because I've entered in one of them once.
right. I just don't like the full Titan law. And I own one. Like I have a Reaver Titan and it's still in its blocks because I don't want to touch it. It's a pain in the butt to just hobby with. Um, I don't know,
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't think I trust anything from Forge World, anyways, to
right,
really
right.
want anything. So they got good customer service. I'll give them that. But
Not anymore.
oh well, when I used to
Yeah,
order from them, they had good
there
customer
we go.
service. But
Back in the day.
uh, the model quality is always questionable, and
Yeah, it is a garbage.
anyone who's bought Forge World before will tell you how pretty trash it is.
Yeah, for sure.
I
For
have been fortunate enough to not have those big problems. Not that I know of, because I usually have a guy who builds it all. But I mean, he hasn't really complained about it too much. I think the one time I had a faulty product was when they didn't send me any legs for my infantry unit.
That's funny.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, so that's you want to win a Titan and you're not in any of those countries I mentioned. Yeah, there you go.
It sucks.
Sign up to the newsletter, spend 100 euros, and get a Warlord Titan with whatever weapon loadout you want. Moving on, we got Black Library, Double Eagle. This is more your department because I don't really read too much of the Black Library.
I mean, it's part of the what's called the Abnet verse, what people have been naming on Reddit, which is essentially, so Gaunt's Ghost takes the universe of Gaunt's Ghost. Well, it's not really. It's part of the 40K, so it's canon. It's part of the 40K universe, but it's very isolated. Like all of the stuff there just kind of happens, only affects itself. It's not like 30 like Horus Heresy where it's like a galaxy spanning war, or it's not like the Uriel Ventress Chronicles when they go to like famous planets and all that. It's just self-contained. So Double Eagle is a story about dogfighting. So it's like aircraft in the same like kind of war zone that Dawn's Ghosts takes place in. So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
So we got that book coming, Bretonian omnibus book.
I might pick that up because it's kind of cool. Um,
Go back to the old world when Forge World releases it in like 6 years.
I know, right? But I'm gonna read the reviews for these because it's a collection of stories that already exist. So if they're good, I might pick it up. I've been on a like Old World is fun to read about. Fantasy being like a lame game aside, as it was. Like it's
So
interesting
those are
setting.
fighting words right there. Not with
Yeah.
me, but you know.
Well, with all I mean, I played fantasy, so I could have my anecdotal experiences. But hopefully it's good. It's I'm reading a Tomb King's book right now. I actually recommend that.
Is
If you
it
can find
Nagash?
no, it's the Gotrek and Felix one. I think
Oh, okay.
it's. Have you read that one?
No, I've not read any of the
It's like it has
fantasy
so
books.
the TLDR is they're hired by Khalida to fight a vampire, and it's really cool. It's called the Serpent Queen.
Ah,
Yeah,
my
definitely
queen.
recommend that. That's actually that should be on your like next to read list. It's really cool. Kind of hammers in the idea that Tomb Kings are not mindless undead. Like they're hanging out with this Tomb Herald. That's a lady, and there's times where you just forget she's undead because she just talks like a normal person.
Hmm.
This is what kind of Tomb Kings are. But
Okay,
but yeah,
I'll give
um,
that a put that in my recommendations. Let's see what else we got here. We got Age of Sigmar, Dire Chasm. I feel like
um,
this book should have came out a while ago.
yeah, I think it's a collection of smaller stuff that they released.
It
I mean,
is an
hey,
anthology book, so I guess that makes
yeah,
sense.
so good for them.
Is that and then Warhammer Plus stuff, which I'm not gonna really comment on unless you want to comment on it. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
Um, Pretty hyped about the Abaddon book, Abaddon lore video, because hopefully that'll be a primary source for people who think Abaddon has been retconned, even though he hasn't. So that would be cool.
All right, well, I mean that'll be out tomorrow, the 8th.
Yes.
So overall, that's a pretty big release for this coming week compared to last week where there was like nothing.
Right.
But that's fine because not everything needs to be a big release.
Very
Though
true.
we though we would all really want it, but actually last week was pretty big, right? It was all the orc stuff though.
Yeah, it was a lot of last week. Yeah, it's just orc releases.
All right,
Sizable amount of orc releases, but
so let me rephrase that. It's more variety stuff being released, not just
yes,
the orc stuff.
yes.
All right then. Moving on, since we already talked about the win the Warlord Titan thing. Um, some 30K news. You got free PDF campaign packs.
This is interesting. Like I kind of feel this was going to be a black book, but they just gave their. This is I think evidence that they're giving up on black books, the big campaign books, and just releasing stuff like this on its own, which I'm fine with, especially if there's the rumored new edition on the horizon. Um, I mean, I'm not upset at all that this has happened. There's a new unit here for Imperial Fist players. There's the Huskarl Terminators, which are Terminators with storm shields, which they could take anyway, but they have extra special rules. So I mean, that's cool. My Imperial Fist buddy isn't as excited because there's no model for them. But I mean, uh, yeah, I mean that's cool.
All right. Well, as a 30K player, because I know you play more for what would be the word lore accuracy. How do you
Yes,
do you play a lot of these campaign things?
I don't because it requires a lot of preparation and it requires specific because you kind of have to go ham because a lot of the campaign they have are based on specific battles. For example, in book, let's say book right now we're book 9. I'd say book 8. There's the campaign that's Alpha Legion versus the White Scar, the Chondax campaign. Alpha Legion versus the White Scars. Well, you kind of need an Alpha Legion player and a White Scars player to do it, right? Um, there's the Cygnus campaign, which is Blood Angels and Demons, and it doesn't make it doesn't make much sense for Blood Angels to fight Word Bearers because it's specifically they fight demons. Um, so unfortunately, I haven't done a lot of the narrative stuff, especially because the early ones are kind of to me like not very exciting from a gameplay standpoint. Like there's one like the big one is Istvan, and that's no one wants to play as Iron Hands and get massacred by like Word Bearers and Night Lords, but doesn't seem that cool to our group, so no one's really hyped for that.
Hmm.
That's where mostly like the narrative we're basing on Siege of Terra, because that one for us has the most variety in terms of stuff. You got demons, you got Chaos Marines, you got Blood Angels, White Scars, Imperial Fists, some Dark Angels in there. Maybe some space. You could argue there were some Space Wolves there as well. All the traders are there, so yeah. I mean, you, to answer the original question, after that long exposition, yeah, it's just you need to prep for it and you need to have the right armies for it. That's why we don't play the narrative stuff. And you have to be hyped about it. And right now, the Siege of Terra is what we're mostly hyped about, so that's what we're kind of building and going for.
I feel like the CG Terra would take a long time to play
Oh heck yeah, that's why it's cool.
since you'll have like what 8 armies.
Oh yeah, it's a ton, but it's more of a setting. Like we can just kind of set our battles as in Terra, like, oh, we're fighting for this part of the wall, or like we're fighting in this part of the planet.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
yeah, not specifically like a giant. I mean, the goal is to have a giant battle, which would be super cool. But it's a long siege, and it's just a great setting for 30K games, in my opinion, because that is the like Siege of Terra is the battle in Warhammer 40,000, hands down. That's the most important battle in 40K. Kind of defines the setting, in a sense.
Hmm. No, it's good that these are being online PDFs because I mean we just went over that kill team debacle.
Yeah, it could have been a White Dwarf.
I know. I. How would you have felt if this was in a White Dwarf? Obviously, it probably wouldn't, right? Because Forge World isn't in White Dwarf, or is it?
They are, but they don't have as big of an influence. That's probably why they just released the PDF, because they couldn't really.
Okay, but that's to go back to my question. How would you feel have this been in a White Dwarf?
It's so minor that I wouldn't mind. Like, you get a bunch of missions and one special unit that is even that exciting. Like if it was like the Shadow Crusade thing I was talking about a while ago, with like tons of units for World Eaters and War Bears, Ultramarines, that would kind of suck if it was in a White Dwarf. But like right now, this I wouldn't mind just because of how insig. Okay, and I don't want to be disingenuous and say it's insignificant, but to me it just feels kind of cute. They're like, okay, cool, it's a few missions and a unit, great. Not, I don't play Imperial Fist, I don't play Alpha Legion, so it doesn't really hype me or like unhype me. It's just, yeah, that's cool that it exists.
Okay, that I get your opinion on because
Yeah,
that
and
whole
and and to hammer it down even more, like that's the thing with 30K. Like I don't play these legions, so I don't care, right? Like if there's a Blood Angel thing, I would have way more to say. If this was a Dark Angel thing, I would have way more to say. But it's armies I don't play, and in 30K, if they release stuff that it's not part of your legion, it's kind of hard to get hyped about it. So
eh, I'm always under the impression that if it affects your hobby, you should care about it, even if it's an army you don't play. Because I mean, it's just a trend that they're trying to push to see how what they could get away with.
right, no, you're right. The existence of this is ultimately a good thing for sure.
Right. I agree.
Which is something yeah,
If something like this, I would much rather have this than pay $40 for a book that would have this much information. I mean,
right.
obviously, I know the 30K stuff would have a lot of like lore stuff in it as well, which
Uh-huh.
what a lot of them care about. But as a player, I would be pissed.
Right, that's fair.
but it's not all the 30k news. You're gonna have to explain this to me. You
Yeah.
gave us some pictures. Are these yours or are these
No, these are
online?
from the internet. So something that's been setting the 30K community on fire is this rescaling of Horse Heresy. So right now for Space Marines, there's three scale levels. There's the firstborn scale, which is the original baby Marine scale. Like 90% of firstborn are this scale. Um, there's the Primaris scale, which everyone who's played 40K opened the Warhammer website in the past 5 years. You know what Primaris are. That's the new Primaris scale. And there's the third kind of sneaky scale, which I like to call the Chaos Marine scale. So Chaos Marine, I mean, it technically started with Deathwatch and Thousand Suns ish, but it really got hammered with Chaos Marines. Where when the new Chaos Marine models came out, they were in this kind of in between new scale that's in between the old Firstborn Baby Marine scale and the new big Primaris scale. And they are the new Chaos Marine scale. It's significantly noticeable. If you put a Chaos Space Marine next to like a tactical Marine, like the Chaos Marine looks like significantly taller. Not okay, sorry, not significantly, noticeably taller. He doesn't make him look like a baby, right? But it's definitely um or he doesn't make him look like a baby the way a Primaris Marine would, but he definitely has a big gap in terms of height. Now, the new 30K stuff, I think the Imperial Fist Praetor, um, and people are talking about the Ultramarines Praetor being the same way. They are in this new scale, so they're taller than the old stuff. As you can see in the pictures, the Praetor on power armor looks just as tall as the. I mean, he's standing on some rocks, right? But you can tell that he's about the height of the Tartaros. And the Tartaros Praetor is significantly bigger than the Tartaros. So my hot take is I like this. I really, really like the Cast Marine scale, and if the new plastic stuff is in that scale, that would be awesome. Now this is a problem though for a lot of people, and I can see it too because let's say you've been collecting 5,000 points of whatever legion, and then this new stuff comes out. Well, it's gonna make your old stuff look kind of noticeably tiny. So people are very angry. Some people, not all, some people are very angry. Conspiracy theories about why they're doing this. Rebuying your armies. 3D printed bits not fitting, which makes no sense or whatever. But yeah, this is interesting because this is we could see massive re-releases of 30K models, plastics for sure to begin with in this new scale, and it's definitely like it may make the old Marines look really small. If you start seeing this in 30K, because 30K originally has this very uniform look with Space Marines battling it out. The only difference being some upgrade parts and the paint scheme. But now you're going to see scale differences between models. Again, personally, I don't mind. I don't mind adding to my Legion in this new scheme. Like that's fine. But for some people, purists who like everything uniform, I get that this might look really weird and um would just throw you off, which is I get it, right? You don't want half your army to be taller than the other half noticeably. So
Well, I for one, I like the change. Obviously, you can't have the or well, you can. GW is obviously trying to move away from the firstborn Marines because they're old models and trying to update them. And I don't see why 30k can't just redo the entire lines of every legion. Yeah, I get that everyone will be mad that all their old stuff will look terrible compared to all the new stuff coming out. But generally, GW doesn't really care if you have old models that you're playing with. I mean, they really mainly care about if it's GW or not. So, upgrading the Marine kits are style. I welcome. I hope they do it because I think they should look nice and maybe not as detailed as these character models, but a little more detail.
Yeah, I just think it looks really weird when you put a old Marine next to a Sister of Silence or like a guardsman, and they look almost the same size. I think it ruins the immersion for sure. And I'm glad, yeah, like I said, that we're gonna see like better looking models in this newer scale. That's hype.
I think it looks nice. I hope they do it, but I do understand why people will be pissed
Yes, absolutely.
because you do have those people who will just sell their entire army or destroy it, or whatever their mental state is, and then go buy the same exact thing, but up to the a new scale that it's supposed to be at. And that's assuming that Forge World pricing. That's gonna have to like sell your house to get all that. But we shall see, because I mean, we still rumor we still have that new starter set that came out or was teased, but we don't know. I mean, we'd have to go back and look for it, but those didn't look like any new models in there. So
Well, we'll see. We'll see especially when the new box set comes out of how how it's gonna look like. Because right now it is still rumor, and the models. There's some. One, they're heroes, so maybe the character's just bigger, and two, they're standing on stuff. So we'll see. We'll see when the new regular stuff comes out.
true, true. But that's that in terms of 30K. We got another thing here. Oops, I already showed that. Uh, did I? Did I not? Did I post it in the wrong link? Hold on. Technical difficulty here. I didn't put it in here. Well, while I get it, let's talk about the Rumour Engine.
Yes, the Rumour Engine.
I wanted to end off on that, but forgot to put in the wrong thing. So we got here like what's like a Chaos Hammer,
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
Chaos Thunder Hammer. Is this the new Terminators?
So this could be new Noise Marines, right?
Could it?
Or it could be.
Could it be Noise Marines? I feel like it'd be more like a character or
Chosen.
Terminators with Thunder Hammers.
Right. I mean, we already have a Terminator kit. I don't think they'll release another Terminator kit. It could be Chosen, like Power Armor guys with Thunderhammers. It could be Chaos Dwarves. I mean,
No, true. Chaos
the
Dwarves.
the article says from a certain well, I guess future means future release date, not necessarily future as in 40K. But yeah, I can imagine this being Chaos Dwarves, which would be super cool because Chaos Dwarves would be cool for Age of Sigmar.
Mm-hmm. That's what you're gonna put it on. You're gonna put it on Chaos Dwarves.
Chaos Dwarves. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it'd be cool. It'd finally give them more. It'd finally get them out on the table instead of being behind Forge World.
Right. Yeah, I'm down for that any day of the
Uh,
week.
but I'm gonna stick with, since you said they already have a kit. But have the Chaos Terminators been updated?
Yeah, they
Or are
came
they
out like
still the
years
old
ago.
models?
No, no, they came up with a new kit like 2 years ago. I mean, the kit look they didn't do any major design changes to that kit.
Okay, maybe that's why I don't remember it then.
Yeah, like they're definitely more dynamically posed, but their weapons are essentially the same. It was we were surprised that they like I think from what I remember they were included in some books and all that, and no one noticed until the Games Workshop was like, hey, by the way, guys, new cast Terminators. It's like, oh, those are new. So um I mean, I love the new cast Terminators. I have a full unit of five fully painted, and I have five more in the sprue. But yeah, they no major design changes for that unit.
Okay, well, I might have been wrong, but I'm still gonna assume it's Chaos 40K because
It's for sure
that
chaos.
hammer looks a little too futuristic.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be cool. I mean, either way, I'm happy. If it's cast dwarves or if it's if it's
Anything chaos.
anything chaos.
All right then. And then to the actual article that we all wanted to see. New Necromunda stuff. Uh oh, got music going on. Whoop, some Wii music there. Sorry about that. We got a new character here,
Yeah,
the Blaster Master.
this guy has had rules for years, but just got a model now. Some of those Necromunda stuff. I mean, finally, it's been a while.
Oh really? So this isn't like new?
No, no, it's yeah, it's. I mean, Necromunda has a ton of this where they have a lot of units that have rules and artwork, but no model.
Uh huh.
So
Okay, well, I guess since it's Forge World, I guess they could get away with that because I remember GW saying that they were never gonna do that again.
correct. Yep, definitely a forgeable thing.
Well, cool then. I'm happy to see it. Just get a Master Blaster vibes from Thunderdome for anyone that
Definitely
knows
right.
that movie. But I'm cool. Happy to see it. Can't wait to put it in my army and use it. Poor uh what are those crew riders called? Are they called Crutox
Oh, the
riders?
food box, yeah,
Poor Crutox riders. Looks this is what you could have had.
right.
But yeah, that is all the Warhammer news for this week that we've got. So, shall we go into hobby ranting?
Yeah.
Well, let's start with you. What what did you do with your extended week?
So played some Kill Team with my buddy. We actually played two games, played a demo game, which was Vet Guard versus Vet Guard, and we played a full game, which was the new Commandos versus Vet Guard. Um, it's funny because we both made major errors. So he concealed like half his army first turn, so he couldn't really do anything. um, and I forgot to bring a model, so I had 9 orcs instead of 10. But it was a close game. Uh I think we ended up tying,
Oh yeah.
I believe. Yeah, we ended up in a draw. So that was super fun. New Kill Team is definitely, I mean, I've been praising it the past two or three podcasts, but it's my main game right now. I'm painting orcs right now, and I'm having a blast. And I'm very excited to see what the future comes. For orcs.
Nice.
Um, I watched some more Warhammer animations. I didn't watch the Blood Angel one because I'm gonna wait until that is finished and just watch it at once because I heard it ends in like weird places. Um, but I watched the animations and they were pretty cute. Or again, cute as in not like a kitty, like a cute pet kind of cute, but like like nothing. It's not amazing, but it was not terrible kind of thing. It was like, yeah, it was fun. There was the one that was an inquisitor, and there's the other one that was an adept of the Imperial Church. So it was interesting. I found it interesting that the both of those episodes featured a lot of characters that weren't really the main characters in Warhammer. Like an adept, right? There's no model for him, and there's like the Inquisitors. I mean, yeah, Inquisitors are pretty are a pretty iconic part of 40K, but they're not really people don't really think Inquisitors when they think of 40K, especially if you're mainly a gamer. Um, so it was cool to see like the more lesser represented aspects of the universe in those shows, and I'm definitely looking forward to more. But oh my gosh, they are really short. They're like 20-minute episodes. Barely get anything.
Well, I mean, that's standard for normal television standards, right?
Right.
So, that's it's normal. Plus, you don't want to drag on for too long.
True, true.
Um, yeah, me, I have been lazy and haven't done any hobby things, but I've also had a bunch of family stuff going on, so I didn't get to do too much. Hopefully this week I'll be able to do something. Not meeting up tomorrow to game,
Mm,
unfortunately. But hopefully Saturday or Sunday. Sunday I'll probably get an AOS game in. Saturday maybe a 40k game in. We'll see.
nice.
It all depends on people's schedules.
Yeah, lucky to play kill team this weekend, so I'm gonna have the orcs crump some more humans. That'd be cool.
I'd love to get some. I'd love to get a kill team game in just to see how it is.
Yeah, no, we should set something up for sure.
Oh my dusty boys or sadistic elves are always ready to play.
Very good.
But yeah, hopefully, probably get some painting done tomorrow and go on from there. Maybe go into a tournament. I'm just waiting to see if Travis has any news on or if he wants to go to a tournament with me this week or
Oh,
next.
the Odyssey one.
I don't know. Is there one next week?
I think it's the Odyssey one. I think it's next week. It could be this week, but yeah, there's that one that's going on monthly.
Yeah, maybe then I'll go to one of those. We'll go to one of those and you know, put Travis in his place. But that's what I've been up to. So, been playing a lot of just video games because they're fast and easy and don't require too much of my mental capacity. But I think this is a good place to stop. So, you got any final words before we close out?
um, Pretty hyped about new 30k scale. I mean, haters are gonna hate, but I will gladly embrace the new scale creep overlords. So
Cool. Well, I look forward to working on my hobby of shame and getting everything painted and built.
nice.
But I'd like to thank everyone who made it this far to the end, and we'll catch everyone next week on normal schedule. So until
Good
then,
everyone.
goodbye.